Good afternoon and welcome to another Super Secret Project sketch. This is Eric Whalen from Super Secret Project X. I know, I have not been able to get rid of any of those words. It is always just going to be long like that, I think.
Happy 4th of July, everyone.
It is the 4th of July, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Weird timing. And a completely unconnected character today. Today we're doing one of my old favorites. I grew up on Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Amongst other cartoons. And I think there's a very under-celebrated character. I happen to love Velma Dinkley. Love all the other characters, Fred included. I think they're all fun characters, including new incarnations. I got that word right. But, whoo! It's been a couple days, folks. But Velma is really fun because she is that character, which is great, that people are not supposed to necessarily find attractive. I think she's cute, and she's got, like, a fan following out there. And I think it's because a lot of people love, like, short, curvy, geeky girls. And she's short, she's curvy, and she's geeky. And she's just perfect for that. And not to mention, I legitimately laugh. I really do. I think she's funny. I think she's very funny. Including the physical humor, blah, blah, blah. But it's just funny having this little know-it-all that runs funny. And everyone else is just doing like runs. And I'm trying to remember, it is this. She just kind of runs like this with her back straight. And it just...
Her hands are up, and her hands are up and like at an angle, and she like pumps them back and forth.
And I'm not doing this because she's chubby, but like that sumo wrestling, like like the E Honda thing. Yeah. Except she's like oh my, so cute and so funny and so silly, and I love her for it. And so we're just gonna do Velma today, and yeah, if no one likes it. Too bad.
She's a fun character. I mean, she's one of those characters that now has become in her own, and finally, and before, because with Scooby-Doo, I mean, all the characters,
they're perfectly iconic at this point.
Yeah, like the original Scooby-Doo, the characters were kind of just a monolith. It was the gang. You had the various names, but it was the gang. And now all they've actually given personalities to the characters and stuff, which I love, because finally I like Scooby-Doo. I grew up with it also. I liked it, but it wasn't one of those shows where I went out of my way to watch it.
I did. I was kind of addicted to Scooby-Doo when I was a little kid. I think it was the combination of horror and humor and silly gags. And less on the second season where they had musical stuff in it. I never cared for that as much, but I loved everything else. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not that I'm against music. It's just when it's used right, it's great. Mm-hmm. And when it isn't, I'd rather they do something else. Well, you know, and quite often music in shows are just kind of like, And the second season of Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? I think there was one episode with one song where I went, well, that wasn't too bad. But most of the time, though, it's just like, I'm good. I'm good. And we got ourselves some viewers out there, so you can lurk all you like. You don't have to say anything, but thank you for showing up. Especially on the 4th of July, and me drawing Velma Dinkley. Talk about me kind of asking for people to, like, not necessarily show up and watch, but...
Well, I think a lot of people think it's hot out.
It is. It's like I wanted to take a nap 3 or 4 times today. It's just been warm.
I did.
You did. Yeah, that was the thing. You were tempting me. I'm like, you nappy temptress. You know.
Okay, careful with that.
No, I'm sorry. My bad. I didn't mean nappy like that, sweetie. I didn't mean... Well, white people use the word nappy a little differently.
Yes, you
Most
do.
of the time.
Yes, you do.
Oh, that's funny.
I love you, sweetie.
I love you. And I love it how you make me feel guilty.
Oh,
Often.
it's my job.
It's my job.
Oh.
That's what you get
Oh.
for marrying me. Ha ha. It's like a 401k of guilt. Oh.
Wow, no. That's not what it's like at all.
So I've been kind of nappy all day, so I'm just kind of glad to not having mouth work, having the energy to laugh and BS, because I'm serious. I was like in the lazy boy trying to do writing and art earlier, and it did not happen. Like the best I could do was just turn on the PS4 and like try to sync some battleships and stuff, and I was screwing up on that too.
Yeah, I noticed that 'cause I saw you sat down in your writer position for at least twice that I saw.
I got a little bit in, and then I got to the point where I had to get super creative, like I could do low level writing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Then I had to get super creative, and well was dry, so I ended up just putting it down.
Yeah, that's why. Cause I was talking to you, and I would like show you, like, oh wait, he's actually trying to concentrate. Let me back away and stop like interrupting him because he's actually trying to concentrate for like seriously. So I'm like, okay, let me leave him alone. I'm gonna go off and do something else. And I was like, oh, he's like, oh,
And then
okay.
it just didn't work, and I gave it the old college try, and it just, I tried, but then my brain just went, hey, you remember those hot dogs you had for lunch? And then I'm like, what? Yeah, wasn't that great? How they were warm, and how they felt like a nap. And I'm like, my hot dogs didn't feel like a nap. Yes, they did. And I'm like, oh man, I was fighting, and I won too. I fought. I didn't take a nap, but
Well, you also popped awake pretty early this morning too, so maybe that had something to do with it.
yeah, I'm not real sure, honestly.
But however it may be, it's warm. It's 4th of July. You have a day off tomorrow, and you can sleep in all you want. Just relax.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm not really sure I keep forgetting that we have tomorrow off. I just keep like repeatedly going like, oh, I gotta go to, oh, I don't have to go to work tomorrow. Yay!
Yeah, it's nice that they did the observance, which they've done and that they're supposed to do when a holiday falls on the weekend or a government holiday falls on the weekend and stuff. But, yeah, the next day is usually the observance for it and stuff. But yeah, it's one of those things where even a friend of ours online is just like, in DC. He's like, yeah, I keep forgetting that I have tomorrow off, and when I remember, I get a little giddy, little glee.
Well, I was thinking tonight, when we do dinner, we watch a movie tonight. I was thinking maybe one of the Pixars we've missed or whatever, and
We got to catch up on Loki too.
we're like an episode or two behind, aren't we?
Just one, because we watched last week's on Friday, Thursday or Friday, and then this week, or I shouldn't say this week because this is a new week, but the week before we watched last week, and then last week's we need to catch up on seeing here, so we can do that at some point.
Yeah. Like tomorrow, I'm like, and I'm serious. I would really like to really get some writing and art in tomorrow. I don't want to kind of waste the day, but on the same note, if I just need to lay around and be stupid, that's what I'm gonna do.
That's what days off are for.
Today and yesterday we were more busy than normal, and I haven't. I mean, I relaxed pretty good, but usually I have like one day where I almost shut off completely.
Right.
I haven't quite done that yet, and I don't think maybe I need it this week, but
It's nice to have the option.
yeah.
Because it's been warm, so I feel for the people in the upper northwest right now, like Washington with all of the crazy over there.
Yes, that freaking heat bubble.
Yeah, it's
We're
like
doing old people talk right now. You realize that?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, just wanted to make sure.
You know me, I'm a weather nerd. That kind of comes with the territory.
And just like, man, we suddenly sound real old.
Well, you're the one that started talking about, hey, the hot dogs you had the other day.
No, there's nothing old about hot dogs. Oscar Mayer has a first name, and I learned how to spell from that, so that's not an old people thing.
Wasn't that pie really good? Yeah, that pie was great. Yeah.
All right, now I've drawn Velma a couple times before, and there's a couple ways of doing Velma to make her kind of feel like Velma, but the big one is always getting her hair right. And what's really funny is you can screw her hair up so easily because it's actually difficult, and I've done it a couple times and I've failed a couple times, so hopefully I can get it right this time. Where if you get the curve wrong, yes, I have studied Velma Dinkley. I do try to study some of these characters and actually learn how they put the stuff together. I studied Velma Dinkley. No, it's going in, going like, okay, if I can get, like, there's just this, you'd figure it's just a round shape, but if you get it wrong, it's terrible looking.
Yeah, she has a weird cross between a bob and a bowl cut.
Well, it's also round while being square at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's a round shape that has very flat curved spots in it, and if you get it wrong, it looks really, really wrong. So I'm going to try to get that figured out. I had one where I nailed it, and I was like, oh, and then I have had other ones where I'm like, no, that didn't work out at all. The other thing that I thought was kind of funny is Velma sort of being like a pseudo lesbian or bisexual like hero character.
Oh.
I thought that was actually kind of awesome. I'm not sure if it's true in the original series because I'm not sure that it was, but I'm like, I don't mind. I think it's kind of awesome.
Well, in the original, it was just kind of no, it wasn't really implied at all. It was just like it wasn't implied any of them were anything to any of. They were just a gang that just hung out and stuff. And
The most that they implied was and yes, I went back and rewatched it recently. Is they implied, but they never said that her and Shaggy were a thing because whenever, they would show people dancing together, it was always her and Shaggy together, blah blah. But they never actually said anything. They were kind of hinting more and more at Daphne and Fred being a thing.
Well, even then, I don't even for that. I don't think I don't really see.
They never really got into that stuff in the show,
it was more about the mystery and the solving and the mystery and the solving.
And we're just going to always read into things the way we want to. Unlike Mystery Incorporated, where both of us were going like, wait a minute.
Well, they kind of put it out there.
They flat out. As a matter of fact, didn't they come out and say we were going to make her openly gay in the series, but they wouldn't let us, so we just pushed it as far as we could?
I don't remember.
I could have sworn you'd mentioned that.
I think that sounds about right. I don't know. I know that there's going to be some upcoming stuff. There's actually going to be like a Velma thing that's coming out.
A Velma thing?
And it's like either a movie or something that's going to be specifically for Velma in the
Well, good, because I like the character.
Yeah, in the Scooby-verse. And
I like smart, funny characters.
Yeah.
So I'm all for it.
Yeah, and I think they're talking about doing that for her in that aspect. But with Mystery Inc., I'm trying to remember, because I know with Mystery Inc., I mean, her and Shaggy were obviously...
Oh, they came flat out and said it, Mystery Inc.,
Yeah, and then at the end of Mystery Inc.,
they almost came out and said
it,
but yeah.
Yeah, they implied with her and hot dog water.
Marcy,
yes.
Yeah, I also like Marcy. I think she's I particularly like her design because they made the scrawny, gawky, nerdy girl, and it was a really good design. Mm-hmm. I liked that design.
Hot dog water.
And it's a great, horrible nickname.
That really is. Which is why I chuckle at it, 'cause I'm just like, yeah, bye.
Which is funny because Velma could have gotten that nickname because she's always got the huge sweater on and stuff. And
So that's why Velma came up with it first. That's why she's like, oh, got it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
hot
name
dog
it before they
water.
call it before I get named it.
Yeah, she made sure someone else got it.
Yep.
That's how smart and devious she is. Yeah. No, I actually like. To me, there's two versions of Velma, and I like both. There's the original Where Scooby Doo, Where Are You version, and I still laugh at that version. I think she's very funny. She's a fun character. But the hero version of her is Mystery Inc. And
Yeah.
wow, I love. It probably doesn't mean much to a lot of the younger people watching shows because they're used to having like females actually not being treated like total second class citizens in cartoons. But like in the old days, you'd get stuff where you're always like you liked the female characters, and sometimes like Ariel and Thundar, they were pretty good actually. And some of the stuff in GI Joe where some of the girls were actually showcased pretty well. Not as great as I'd like, but pretty well. And then there are the shows where you're just like rolling your eyes, going like, "Really, guys?"
Yep. Welcome to Marvel. That's one of the reasons why I didn't like a lot of the shows that came out because as a little girl,
Yeah, I'd
growing
imagine.
up, I wanted cool kick butt girl characters.
Well, as a little boy, I wanted cool kick butt female characters,
And you
but you
were-
more so.
You were the rarity because when I was growing up, all the boy character, the dudes that I played with and all were pretty chill and they're pretty cool, and at having a girl in the group because I was more tomboy than anything, and I just did not like playing with a lot of the girls because they didn't play. They just
Well,
they
that does help because as much as I liked the other girls when I was younger, there was a lot of them where you're going like, I don't know what you're doing. Like
Yeah.
you couldn't hang out with them. But
Yeah,
so I could see that. Yeah.
and so I like my thing growing up was like I've always liked the girl characters who were part of the group who actually did something in the group. They weren't the damsel in distress or getting rescued and all. Or
That's fine, like every once in a while, but there was like a decade where it was nothing but damsels in distress, and it was like, really?
Or if there was a girl character in a
She needed a dude's
group,
help.
Yeah, in a group setting, it was always she was just the token girl because most cartoons in that era was designed for dudes and for boys to play with toys and all. So they throw in a girl character, just because hey, there's a girl character for either a potential love interest. Or just to hit the here's the big sister demographic or the love interest demographic or whatever and stuff. But there was exceptions, of course. I mean Penny Gadget, but
Yeah, there was a handful of exceptions. Yeah.
but with that she wasn't part of a group. In the sense, she was her own character.
And her sidekick was the dog.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I mean, so it was really kind of like. Yeah, that was one of the few ones, wasn't it? Yeah,
Yeah,
because I liked Penny.
Rescue Rangers, group of guys, but Gadget held her own.
Yep.
And she was literally the smart one of the group. And it's like, okay, yeah, let's do this. Well, holy crap. And when the things didn't work, she was like, oh, well, that didn't work. Well, let's try another way. And I mean, one of my favorite expressions comes from her is when somebody was like, this is like, they asked her, well, what do you think? She's like, well, it's improbable. And they're like, well, don't you mean impossible? She's like, no, nothing's impossible.
It's just improbable.
Yeah.
It's just bloody unlikely. Could still happen.
Exactly.
Just bloody unlikely.
And she's one of my cartoon heroes and one of my general heroes in life because of a lot of the stuff that she did and the way they made her character. And even there were some points where yes, she was the girl in the character, and they definitely.
Well, it's
made
okay
her
to do that a bit, yeah.
They made her love interest, and I mean for me, I've always liked I liked the pretty smart, strong female character. That was my archetype that I always enjoyed in cartoons and stuff. I mean, heck, Chun-Li is my all-time favorite girl character because she's like all of that. And she's a detective.
I just like her because she spins upside down and, flies around. She's very exciting. Very exciting.
I want her to crush me between her thighs.
I'm so serious. The first time I saw her doing the spinning bird kick, like when I was a kid, I was just like, that is ridiculously cool because it was so silly. It was awesome, you know. She's been like one of my all-time favorite Street Fighter 2 characters.
Yeah, when I first played the game, I think I remember like going to the store and saw Electronic Gaming Monthly when it was still running out there. They had the magazine featuring Street Fighter 2 and all the characters and their bios and the moves and all that. And I think I scrounged up every little coin that I could find to buy that magazine.
That's awesome.
And I still have it to this day.
Do you?
Yes, it is it's in the studio, and I have a stack of magazines that I've kept over the years of my favorite issues and all that. So I have some of the Disney afternoons, a lot of the EGMs, and a lot of the what was that, the comic book magazine that was out.
Wizard?
Wizard, yes.
Yep.
I have a stack of those too, but yeah, I'm like, I will never give this up, which I might at some point.
Always mine. Okay, so we've had 2 viewers. Could you check to see if Facebook, if it showed up there? And no, I gotta figure out what's up with Facebook, other than it's Facebook.
Yeah, I'll check again to make sure if it popped up.
I'm telling you, folks.
Facebook has been,
They are completely unfriendly to everything that I do with this.
Well,
They just make my life a living hell for no apparent reason.
Well, it's like that and what Instagram did to a lot of the creatives that was just announced a few days ago. It's like instead of just allowing a platform for people to post their work and to showcase their stuff, they're now exclusively just moving to like the TikTok format, which is just like people, like a lot of artists just like, no,
What about us?
we do pictures and art because we want to do pictures and art, and a lot of the photographers are just like, so we're just gonna
So
stop
thanks for the
motion.
finger, Instagram. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of people that are just upset, and I think Facebook owns Instagram, if I'm not mistaken, or was it Snapchat?
No. I
know-
think it's Facebook that. Yeah.
They own a lot of several of the big name apps and stuff, the social apps. But yeah, Facebook has just not been user friendly to the.
Which is
to the
so
creative.
weird because you figure that's what they should be doing, but instead they're like, hey, let's just make this more complicated than it needs to be. It's like, guys,
Yeah,
stop being dinguses.
Yeah, all of you creatives out there with your pages and all that. Yeah, we're not gonna allow you to promote. And we're not gonna.
Forget you.
Yeah, hey, all those like really bizarre political pages and your uncle's mad rantings, top priority.
We don't want to have people being constructive. It's like, dang it, Facebook. Dang it.
Yeah. But anyway, no. Yeah, that's something good, huh?
Yeah, it's not bad.
I like the construction on her. What you did with her on that one. Jinkies.
Jinkies. Yeah, it's actually, I really can. I can see why people find her to be super cute, because I think she is cute.
Yeah, she is.
I think that there are definitely frames where they didn't draw her very well, I think is the problem. Is you have, and I actually think this is really kind of neat, is you have Daphne on the screen, and she is your thin glamour kind of build and look and everything, which is fine. I actually think she's a really cute character too. But then you have Velma next to her, and both of them are drawn very well. One's kind of glamorous and sexy, and the other one is actually just kind of cuter and a little curvier, and you're going like, actually, she's a little cuddlier. You know, I'm just saying, you know, with the sweater and everything, she's kind of cuddly. You know, I'm going like, she's an adorable character. Yeah, she's a total, you know, like nasally nerdy type, but that's most people I know. So
Yeah. Yeah, I want to, and I know there's probably something out there, like a lot of the, I want to get one of the Scooby-Doo, either like into books or telling about the history, because I mean, there's one for the Flintstones, I think there's one for the Jetsons, so there has to be one for Scooby-Doo out there that talks about the character designs and how Takamoto actually came up with them. 'Cause I mean, I'm pretty sure maybe it's in the one book we got, the autobiography that
I still have got to get through that book.
Same here. My brain wants to read it so bad, but and the stacks of books I have here that I want to go through so bad. I'm just like, I know I'm a bad book person because I love books, but just actually trying to read them has been really tough lately.
Bad book person.
Yeah.
Bad.
Yeah, bad book person. Bad, naughty. But yeah, I mean, my love of books and love reading and sitting down is like I just haven't been doing that the past few years because I'm just trying to get stuff done with the company and
Yeah, there's just so much going on all the time.
yeah. But anyway, yeah, back to I really hope there's something out there because I'm really curious as to what the how the design concepts and how they came up with the concept, and I really would love to see like even like what were the rejected concepts for the gang and stuff from Takamoto and everyone else, and for those anyone who's watching, Takamoto Iwao Takamoto is the main character, or was the main, or no, he was the main character designer for a lot of Hanna-Barbera cartoons, and he was the main one for Scooby-Doo, Japanese American guy. I think is it Iwao, E-W-A-O? I don't know.
It's like Iwao. It's a Japanese name I've never heard before, and it's got so many vowels in a row I get confused.
Yeah, I think it is Iwao. 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 Probably Iwao. But yeah, he was the main character designer for Scooby-Doo, and which was funny because that took me by surprise to see an American, a Japanese American artist.
Yeah, because I just always assumed it was like one of the Hanna-Barbera Ruby Spears guys that did it, you know?
Yeah, and that, and like, I don't want to, I felt kind of bad because I think I was, with a lot of, because we grew up with a lot of Japanese anime, excuse me, and so seeing a Japanese American person doing a obvious American style,
It threw me for a split second. I was like, oh.
And because when I saw his name, I was like, oh, was he one of the Japanese artists that just came over here and just fell in love with the American style? I was like, no, he was actually a Japanese American guy, lived here. He was actually in the internment camps.
Yeah, he was in the American internment camps for the Japanese.
Yeah, and just loved drawing and just was a really great, brilliant artist and stuff. So I'm like, oh, well, wow, good for him. And
So like a lot of the Hanna-Barbera stuff was a Japanese dude doing it. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it was all, but it was like a lot of those characters was him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the one pitch that they did for the Blackstones, which was which was going to be a spin-off from the Flintstones, was going to feature a black prehistoric family that lived next door to Fred Flintstone and company, and that didn't.
I still say that could have been cool.
Yeah, it could have been.
It also could have just been a little cringy, but
yeah, the initial artwork for that was really was nice. The other concepts, oof,
yeah, well,
those were that made me back away. I was like, ooh, that's really it wasn't even borderline in sense that it was, yeah, man, I'm not sure.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I don't know what you were thinking with this one, man, but that ain't it, Chief.
Yeah, no. We ain't going there.
Yeah, so I can see why it didn't get picked up, because Joseph Barbera actually wanted it to happen. He was really, really pushing for it. But I think it was just, I think it was, well, which is funny. I want to say it was before its time because it was freaking 1976. They had, Fat Albert was like early, it was like mid 60s at that point.
And there was black sitcoms and stuff at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
so it really was probably about right.
Yeah, I was saying for black cartoons and stuff. We had Fat Albert, we had Harlem Globetrotters. We had
I love the fact he pulled stuff out of his fro.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it in a long time, but I remember that.
Yep. I think was this early 70s or 80s? I want to say it was early 80s. The oh crap, Arnold from Different Strokes. Oh, Gary Coleman.
Yeah,
The
Gary Coleman.
show. Yeah, that was. I want to say that was early 80s. But yeah, there were several African American cartoons that were out pre that. So I just think it was one of those things where they just didn't want to take the gamble, because I mean I can understand them trying it and going, hey, let's at least take a look at it. But yeah, I don't think they had a concept nailed down enough that would have made it successful. I mean, it
Well,
just
if it literally was just the Black Flintstones and nothing else, that is a little weak. They would need to have, and maybe that's what they got nailed on. Like they're like, well, do you have anything else other than the fact that it's the Black Flintstones?
yeah, and
You know?
and with that, I mean, they would obviously throw in a lot of the social issues, and how would you describe that during that time period without people getting mad?
Well, that's the thing is 60s and 70s, the stuff that was pushing back usually was pretty clever at that. So if they did it right, that could have worked. The problem is if they didn't do it right, the whole thing just could have been a mess.
Yeah, and I keep mentioning what I was saying with Fat Albert and stuff. They didn't really do any of the social commentary. It
That was just kind of fun.
It was just, we're just making a cartoon just to get ourselves out there, because we just want to put ourselves out there and get some content for children to see some representation and
Yeah,
stuff.
because I grew up on Fat Albert, so there was a number of years where it was Fat Albert, and probably right around the same time as Dungeons and Dragons, and yeah, so that was part of my Saturday morning lineup too.
Yeah, because I mean, they were doing Fat Albert reruns, because Fat Albert came out late '60s, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 67. Yeah, was when that came out. So the show ran for a pretty good time, and they were doing a lot of reruns and stuff. I'm trying to think. For me, it was because I liked Fat Albert. I thought it was alright. I liked the music a lot.
Well, I just like it being a bunch of kids hanging out in a trash yard.
Yeah. I really.
I don't even think I realized it was a black show when I was a kid. I mean, I think I did, but I don't think it was like remotely,
Right.
salient in my mind. I was like, oh, it's a bunch of kids hanging out in a trash yard. This is cool. They build stuff. And one of them is huge.
Yeah, I never saw the movie that they did. I heard the movie was okay with Kel. Or is it Keenan or Kel? Can't remember which one. Keenan. Who then did a lot of. Who's currently on Saturday Night Live, and he's pretty funny.
Oh, good.
Yeah, he did a lot of comedy stuff. I don't know what happened to Kel. The skinny black kid. That was because they were on Nickelodeon.
Yeah, I remember. I know who you're
Keenan
talking
Kel,
about.
yeah.
I didn't watch the shows, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. I didn't have Nickelodeon, so I couldn't see it. I think I caught it when I would visit you guys when y'all had cable when we were in college. And I'd catch a couple minutes of it or something.
No, we had cable only because they threw it into the rent of the place we were at.
Mm-hmm, which is why I was
Just
watched cable
the
when I
only
get home.
reason we could afford cable back then.
Yeah, and even then it was. Now we're doing the subject mash thing, which I really like when we do that. I remember when cable was like $25 a month.
It's ridiculous now.
Yeah.
It's unforgivably expensive. The moment I can get rid of the cable companies, I will. They're a parasite.
Well, it's funny because now all the streaming services are doing exactly what the cable companies are doing. Because I mean, when we were, I remember actually saying, if we could find a way to get the channels that we want and we would pay separately for them a la carte, that would be a really great idea. We now have that.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh man, now they're charging all this money for all these streaming services.
Yeah,
That's
but
not
it's
cool.
no. But the thing is they're still within a reasonable pay. Like we have Disney Plus, we paid us a flat amount for a year's worth of that. Boomerang, we paid a flat amount, so we got our cartoons taken care of. Hulu, Netflix, blah, 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 they're usually not that bad. Cable starts in at way more than all of those combined plus several more streaming services. So it's like, I'm still for the streaming services.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Just cable's like, you want $80 a month for 50 channels of football? I don't watch football.
Yeah.
I mean, fine for those who do, but I'm just like, I'm never going to watch that. There's nothing in me that wants to watch a football game.
Or I should say, like 35 channels of football, 20 channels of news,
17 racing, 3 golf.
and
I don't
maybe
want to watch any of it.
maybe like 1 or 2 that you might watch, and then the ones that you really watch, you have to pay premium extra to do so. that right there made me that miffed me so bad. It's like every single year they would take off 1 or 2 channels that they knew people were watching on the basic platforms, and like, oh no, this is now considered a premium thing. So it's like, so what's basic? Well, you get all this news crap and you
I
get
don't
all
want
this
news.
sports stuff, and it's
I
like,
don't want
I was
sports.
like, wait, so why do I like? Can I like reverse that? Can I get all this stuff, and y'all can have the sports? I really like that.
Well, I had one guy one night, he called up, was like, I'm going to offer you a great deal on cable, blah, blah, blah. It's like, I can get you 87 channels of football in 3D or whatever. And I'm going like, uh-huh. I hate football. And he stops and goes, what? And he literally was like, he was like, what? Like, it didn't occur to him that people didn't watch football. I was like, I don't watch football. I don't want this. Well, why not? Because football is boring.
Because I don't.
I mean, it's not like a
football.
moral decision. It's just boring for me to watch. I don't care.
I hate
The story is terrible.
I,
It is. It's the same as like the ball goes left and right, and you're like, I don't know the characters. Who cares? There's no twist.
I hate when people question your final like. Well, I don't like football. Well, why?
What?
Because I don't like football.
Because it's boring.
Well, why? Can't you just accept the fact that I just don't like
I
football?
just don't like football. I'm
Like,
sorry. Sports are just so freaking boring.
Like, does there have to be a reason why I just don't want this? I mean,
Don't you want to cheer for your home team? I don't have a home team. I'm not into sports. No offense to whoever they are, but they're doing well enough without me. I don't need to cheer for some team.
is JoJo's Bizarre Adventures part of it?
Oh,
What?
no,
Then
thank
no.
you. Be like, hey, do you have Team Stardust Crusaders on there? Like one guy at work, I swear to God, he walked by. And he was like, what was it? Oh, I'm actually going to get a sports term right, I think. He was like go Blackhawks. And I walked by and I responded to him, go Fire Ferrets. And he just looked at me. He's like, what? I'm like,
Nice.
the heck are you talking about? He's like, hockey. I'm like, hockey? That's not Legend of Korra, dude. And he was like, what is that? I'm like, you don't know. I ain't going to educate you. Hockey. Oh my God, no. Go do your whatever you're doing with your sport thing. You know?
Dude, if you don't know about pro bending, then I feel
You don't know
sorry
about
for
pro
you.
bending, dude. You know?
Then you know what? I feel sorry for you. So that's good though. Let's go Fire Ferrets. Yeah, there's been I've been tempted to get them, but on one of the clothing places that I check out every once in a while online, they have of course fandom stuff everywhere from all different types of shows and all that, and they have Legend of Korra pro bending like jerseys and
Do
stuff.
they? That's
and I've
funny.
been tempted to get a Fire Ferrets one because
See, I wouldn't want one because I would just be encouraging people to walk up to me and talk about baseball or
Which is
bowling
why I
or
would
something,
get it,
and I'm
because
just like,
because
I don't want to be bothered with that.
Yeah, because I know way more sports than you, and I enjoy sports a little bit more. Well, I'll just say.
I was about to say, if you enjoy sports on any level more than me, it is infinitely more. It's
Yeah.
not a little bit more.
Right, and I can at least talk a little bit about it, but I don't want. I'm not to the point
I
where
don't
I'm
want
just
to
like,
encourage
yeah,
people.
yes, yeah. I like the I like the design of the jersey. It's like I have a Mickey Mouse jersey, um, like a baseball jersey, and I think I've worn it once or twice, and that was it. Well, that because I've increased my girth a little bit, but but yeah, it's like yeah, it's cool.
Well, it's like I had a friend at work. He moved on to another job, but he was a hockey. I think he was a hockey guy. I think it was hockey. Anyways, he was like, oh yeah, he's like, actually, I hear what you're saying, man. He's like, I was at the bar the other night. And I was just sitting there with my chips and my beer, and I was just wanting to be left alone and watch the hockey game. And he's like, I actually understand what you're saying because I totally had this hockey jerk off get in my face about whose team and this and that and blah blah blah. And he's just going like, I just wanted to eat my snack, drink my beer, and watch a hockey game. And I'm like, that's kind of what I'm talking about because I would be like, I'm not into it. And I've had people in the past be like, I'm like, it's like, your hobby is lame. It's fine. You like it, but I don't like it. So, you go do your thing, dude. Go score a hole-in-one with your hockey ball or whatever. I don't care. Just like, I'm not stopping you from loving it. I don't want to, though.
And the thing I just don't care for are the people who, when you immediately say, hey, this isn't my thing, they immediately think that something's
It's like they
wrong
take
with
it
you.
personally.
Yeah, they take it personally, or they think that something's wrong with you. It's
Yeah,
just like,
I've seen that. It's so
Yeah, it's
strange.
like, why is it so ingrained in people that this is something? It's like there are millions of hobbies out there, and everyone doesn't have to have
The same one. As a matter of fact, it's good that isn't that way.
Yeah, it's like that's one of the reasons why I like talking to people about the weather, because at least I can say, hey, the sun is nice today, and people will go, yeah, it's out there, and that's general conversation as opposed to, so how about them socks? I'm just like, oh, well, mine are slowly sliding down into my shoe right now.
Yeah.
Wait, what are you talking about?
I don't even want to give the illusion that I'm interested.
Yeah,
I just don't even because it's like I don't want to get into that. It's just,
I mean,
and it's not like I'm above anything. It's just I just don't
Yeah, it's not your
want to
thing.
go there
yeah, I mean,
because people turn it into like a cult level something, and you're just like,
yeah, I love what somebody did a comic, and actually this happened a while back, which is probably what inspired the comic, was a bunch of people dressed up in one of the local teams, whatever. They had the jerseys and the face paint. They had the big dude that had the body paint on and stuff. And it was they were walking by a convention, and stuff where there was like a big nerd convention or a big fandom convention that was happening. And the sports guys were like yelling and harassing the convention people. And so, look at those nerds! Oh, they're just so funny as they're walking by and like.
did they
giant,
tell me they had cheese on their heads?
if I'm not mistaken, what was it? No, this was in I want to say it was like Pittsburgh. So it was like during I want to say it was Pittsburgh. So it was like one of the Steelers things. So they had like all the jerseys and the black and yellow face paint with like whatever hats on and stuff. But
Yes, so they could accessorize. Yes.
yeah, but it's like you're making fun of people dressed in cosplay and costumes, but yet you have the exact same
Yep.
thing on it, but it's acceptable for you because you got some dude's name tattooed on your back. Okay.
Yeah. Meanwhile, they're calling the nerds gay. Like, you're the dude with the dude name tattooed on his back, dude.
Yeah, or you're
No offense, dude.
you're wearing some dude's like name on a jersey, and you love this player. It's like, all right.
Look, I'm just saying, you can do whatever you want. I'm
Yeah.
actually cool with it. I'm,
Yeah, just don't be a hypocrite.
yeah, just don't be a hypocrite. You're in man love with a big studly guy that sweats for a living. I'm not going to say homoerotic, but I'm not gonna say it.
Hey, like, who doesn't enjoy a good butt pat from another dude? Apparently.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. It's just sports are boring, and don't sit there and judge other people, and then you yourself are doing something that's like wearing cheese on your head and painting your body in the color of your favorite man crush. You know, I mean, go ahead and do it. Just don't be a hypocrite about it. You're being weird too. You know, like embrace the weirdness. That's what it gets me about that is they think that it's normal. I'm like, no, it's not. It's weird. Embrace that. I'm fine with it being weird. You know, I'm just simply saying,
Yeah, perfect.
don't be a hypocrite
Yeah.
about it.
Perfectly fine. Just don't hate on the different brand of it.
Yeah, that's where I'm coming from. It's just like, if you're really into figure skating or whatever, good. Just don't snob about it like your hobby is better than anybody else's because it's just people on tights, you know, whipping around on ice. Totally fine, take skill, blah, blah, blah. That's great, but everyone's hobbies are everyone's hobbies. No one's is better than anyone else's. I'm like, look at what I do. There's nothing about this that's heroic. You know, I'm like, I just draw cartoons, you know, like I'm special.
So meanwhile, back to Velma.
I'm not sure how we got there, but, you know, whatever.
Well, we went from Scooby-Doo characterizations to cartoons to 80s cartoons with boy versus girl representation to cable TV somehow to cable TV
Turner.
charging. Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I like Mystery Inc. was probably my all-time favorite Scooby-Doo iteration. They did such a great job on that show.
One of the reasons was it did so much to call back to the original show, so they weren't trying to replace it. They were just like adding to it, which I think was a really good idea.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, because I still watch the original. As a matter of fact, the original, when you're tired, because that's when I usually watch it, when I'm going to bed, is actually easier to watch than Mystery Inc. is, because Mystery Inc. Like emotionally engages you. I mean, there's legitimately complicated things happening. The original one's just fun, you know?
Yeah.
Like, one of my favorite bits, it happened maybe 5 times total, is all the times that everyone jumped in terror and landed on Velma, and Velma goes running. It's one of my all-time favorite gags. And the you know, Shaggy and Scoob jump up and they land on her, and you just see them in like this pile of dog and scrawny dude, and then you just see like orange sweater and legs, and then like a mummy coming after them or whatever. I just always end up laughing at that. So funny. And then there was one time where it was literally the whole gang, so it was Velma carrying like everyone.
Yeah.
And some people probably go, oh, it's just me, and they're just showing the chubby little chick being the one, the blah blah. I'm like, yeah, it's funny. It's really funny, you know. Like
The end gag on that one probably was just the animators going, or even the storyboarders and the animators, just like, dude, what if like everyone just like got so scared and Velma literally carried the team, because she carried the team when like literally at some point.
because at points she's the one carrying the team. Yeah.
Exactly. And so, like, just, I mean, and the first time I saw that as a kid, I remember cracking up laughing because it was so unexpected. Because normally it's just like everyone would just kind of like just okay run, or you expect Scooby to like jump on Shaggy, and Shaggy carries them. It's like they have the entire gang just like jump on Velma out of nowhere, and she does the Hanna-Barbera like running in mid-air for like 3 seconds or so, and then she takes off.
Yep. All right. The part that I got to do, because darn it, I sure would like some people to like, you know, start joining and subscribing and blah blah blah, so I'm gonna do it
Do it.
until maybe someday it actually works. Do you want a schedule of upcoming episodes and links to missed episodes sent to your email? Then go to supersecretprojectx.com/EricArt and sign up for my newsletter at the bottom of the page.
There you go.
There you go. And
Baseballs. That's toilet paper.
and blah blah blah. Transition back. I even hit the button and everything this time. Okay.
Boy, he did it.
This is what I love. I love it when I just pick characters and I'm not paying any attention. Regardless of her status as potentially a lesbian heroine, regardless of all of that, let's put that off to the side because today she is locking lips with Space Ghost. Manchin, Velma. Velma, Manchin.
Hey man, she's at least bi. She's at the very least bi.
And Space Ghost is bare minimum for sale.
He's
Well, you
Space
two,
Ghost.
live for eternity. Eternity.
Eternity.
Sealed in my sketchbook.
Oh.
Oh, hermetically sealed in the weirdest way possible. There we go.
Love made in the stars.
Oh, that made me a little uncomfortable. Had some general pull-in happening.
Okay, there's fan fiction about it somewhere.
There we go.
It's like buttermilk. They make it. Somebody has to drink
Somebody
it.
has to drink it. All right. Everyone have yourself a good week, and we will catch you later.
Enjoy the rest of your 4th of July. Enjoy your day off tomorrow. Have fun.
Yes. Catch you later.
Bye.